Well, good morning, Business 20 students. This is Mr. Doucette. This is week 7 in our 8-week course in business mathematics here at Norco College, which means we only have one more week after this, and next week is not a full week, but good news, I only give you one chapter to consider next week. But this week you're going to be looking at financial statements, ratios, and business statistics. So these are two kind of unrelated topics. Financial statements and ratios is one, and then business statistics is another. But this is where you're going to be looking at what an income statement is, a balance sheet is, and a statement of cash flows. You're also going to be looking at why these are important to business. You're going to be looking at how to run ratios, which are basically taking different information off of those statements and calculating them together to find out things like your inventory turnover or your rate of return, your return on investment, your debt versus equity, things like that, your liquidity, all these things that will be very valuable to figuring out the health of your business. And these all come off of your financial statements. So that's what we'll be looking at this week. You'll also be learning about how to do a horizontal and vertical analysis of those statements to see if there's any changes, what areas that might need to be cautious in, or that you need to beef up, or things that you need to take money out of. So they'll kind of demonstrate all the different expenses that you have based off of your revenues, comparing what you've earned in revenue versus what you spent in expenses and then what you have left in profit. And that's really what you're going to be considering in the three primary financial documents. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the assignments for this week, and I'll explain a little bit more in detail as I do. So here we are in our home page in Canvas. We're actually in our last module starting today, and it's a 2-week module as well. So here we are scrolling down then to week number 7. Oops, right here, sorry. So yes, you have a README first for this week, looking at how these topics fit into business as a whole. So you'll figure out where you'll see how financial statements and ratios as well as business statistics are necessary exercises in business today in order to keep track of your money. Obviously, if you run out of money, you're in big trouble. So you need to make sure you're managing your money well. You also have a help Sienna where you're going to be set up with where she might need some help in these areas. You have a study page for both chapters. Make sure you review those. And remember, you need to mark all of these as done before you'll be able to access the coursework. There is a formula sheet for these chapters. They're pretty simple. A lot of it's just explaining what the textbook explains, since there's not too many special formulas, but it shows you how to do the processes of vertical and horizontal analysis, etc. You have your check-in assignment, which is, again, you're helping Sienna solve some specific problems in relationship to her financial statements, ratios, and business statistics as she does some data gathering for her customers. Then you have a quiz on chapters 15 and 21. And so make sure you complete those. There are fill-in questions, yes. And then finally, you have your case study number 4 that you're starting today. So that is your inventory evaluation. And so this is where you're going to be utilizing a little bit from chapter 16, which you covered last week, as well as a financial statement, an income statement. So you're going to basically be figuring out what your inventory cost is, all 3 methods of inventory cost, and then you're going to be plugging that into an income statement to see what your net profit is and how that changes it depending on which method of inventory evaluation you use. So that's what this last case study does. You have 2 weeks to do it, so it'll tie into last module, which is chapter 16, and then this module, chapter 15. You should be able to answer it after you complete, chapter 15 reading and review. And that's pretty much it. This case study will go into next week. Next week, you'll have your final week, which will be one chapter, chapter 20. You'll have a final check-in assignment, which is personal questions, no math. You have a quiz. You'll have a final exam. And the quiz is only to prepare you for the final exam. And then you have your mandatory post-test assessment just to see how you did on those questions that you did at the beginning, if you learned anything. And again, the final exam does cover the second half of the class, so starting with chapter 12 all the way to chapter 21. But we'll look at that again. I'll be doing another video next week to kind of go over those final assignments, as well as give you some final announcements that I typically give at the end of all my courses. So be looking for that next week. But until then, have a great week. If you need to meet with me in my office hours, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or just join me on campus. I'd be happy to meet with you or via online. So you can find all of that information on my office hours link on the homepage. All right, until next week, have a great week, everyone.